What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 284 of Opinions May Vary. I'm your host, JR, and my co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
Joining us this week via the internets. I don't even know what program we're using. It doesn't even matter because someone's joining us this week. It is Carley Winn. Carley, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Hi, everyone.
Oh my God, hi.
Yay.
Now, can we hear, because unfortunately, I just met Carley like 10 minutes ago. Alex, you and Carley go a little bit further back. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to leave. Could you give us the intro? Could you essentially tell us who we're talking with? I mean, we could let Carley do it herself as well. That might help too. But
in the distant past, we had a mutual friend, and we met through an event pretty much just the one time. But then since then, I've been going to more conventions, and Carley has just been exploding into all these cosplays. And I guarantee that you guys have been to the same events as well. Like you say, you're just meeting her
even
now.
just here, like if Carley, if you were at Hartford that year when Alex met Forge, I was there.
Yeah, I was there.
I believe you were Magic.
God, I don't remember
that day.
That was probably Magic. Yeah.
And then she was just at this
I
past
love Magic.
Massive Con.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to check because I saw the banner picture and I was like, which one? Oh, she was Dazzler.
Yeah.
Which isn't usually one.
Oh, God, that was fun.
People don't normally go for Dazzler. But
Which is too bad. That was immensely fun. I was just blasting disco music all day. It was infectious. Everybody kept dancing to it.
I was gonna say
Like,
what.
One of my friends is the Punisher, and he was like looking kind of, sternly around. And then suddenly his shoulders start to move. I was like, damn it.
So what? I'm already going on a tangent right now.
yeah.
What? Because when you say that was fun. That character. What makes a character, having been someone who has never cosplayed in their life before, what makes a character fun? Like you mentioned, like the music. Like, is it just the character in general getting to portray that person? Like, what makes a character fun for you?
So, like, I've had some characters that have been specifically not fun. So I think maybe that's the big contrast for me, where it's like, I find Elsa not fun. That's work. That's where I can't move the way I want to move. I tend to be really, like, kind of climby and jumpy and fally, and I like to physically just move around a lot, And Elsa, you have to just corset, stand up straight. You're a princess. Everyone is looking at you all the time. Mostly children staring at you. They want their perfect princess. It's like when she's singing that song in the movie about how she has to be perfect and everybody's looking at her and everything. It's how you are when you're Elsa, even though she's past that point. Like, you are stuck. And it's just not fun.
You have to have poise.
Yeah, you have to be the perfect princess because that's what everyone expects. I mean, maybe not like, normal people don't expect a cosplayer to, be a perfect... But the little kids, they expect it. They want their perfect princess, and you don't want to ruin their dream, So, that's not fun. But when you can, like, express yourself maybe more than you're usually used to... Like, Harley is so fun. So I just get to fall all over me a clown, That's the best. Dazzler, I got to kind of just dance it up. I get to be a little, wacky. It's a smile. Characters where you don't smile, that's not fun. My advice from Ruby, sometimes that's not fun because I have to be grumpy or mean. It's just not who I am,
Right.
Did you also wear roller skates for Dazzler?
A little bit, but I was really concerned with getting kicked out. It was smaller. It was, it was just higher profile. Like, people could see me better.
A little more strict.
And
I guess.
yeah,
Okay.
I was so worried about it.
Fair.
Are the roller skates like a signature? Like, is that a part of the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Her early appearances, like when she first showed up, because she was literally like disco queen.
Right.
Yeah, and I was doing Disco Dazzler, so...
That sounds...
I
don't know much
disco
about
balls.
Dazzler, but that sounds like the best version of Dazzler.
Oh, get ready. She's going to be in the next X-Men movie. And they're making another comic book for her. Like, I think Marvel's doing an event where they're bringing back a lot of comics that they ended. So they're doing like the next issue of. So I think it's like Dazzler number 43 is coming out.
They've been trying to push a legacy numbering, is what they called it.
Right, like the old numbers.
Yeah.
I saw, because like I think the next Thor is like Thor number 700 something, and I'm like, no, it's like 24.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, they're going backwards. I don't even know how to say it.
Right, is it
Like,
forward or
The
backwards?
problem is they've rebooted so many times that they've lost track of their numbers.
Yeah.
I need this timeline of X-Men comics to try and even keep track of it. It's ridiculous.
Okay, while
Like
we're here,
Wolverines especially, it's crazy.
I almost forgot about that. Thank you for bringing it up. While we're here, your X-Men timeline that you're working on, like the comic book knowledge that I have, what you're undertaking is baffling to me.
What is this? What is X-Men time when you refer to this? What's happening?
So, when you try and collect X-Men comics, it's very difficult because they've changed the name of things. You can't just collect Uncanny X-Men. It's like, well, do you want to collect Uncanny X-Men Marvel now? Do you want to collect the 2010 Marvel X-Men? Do you want to collect, like, they're now on X-Men Blue and X-Men Gold? Like, which one of those is
Astonishing
Uncanny? Well, neither of
X-Men,
them,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, exactly. There's
Apparently,
Astonishing.
there was 2 series of X-Men Legacy, I guess. I think.
Yes. Which is technically all X-Men, which is also X-Men Blue. or New X-Men is also X-Men Legacy. Like, it's all the same kind of line, really. Well, I don't know if it's technically X-Men Blue, actually. I could argue that it's all New X-Men. But anyway, classically X-Men was X-Men, the blue team and the gold team from the 90s. But
Yeah.
anyway.
So
Yeah,
are you trying to put them in order, or?
I'm trying to make it easy to reference for people who want to collect.
Okay.
And for me, when I want to collect, because I don't have every single X-Men comic, and I'm trying, it's a lot of money. I'm trying to like back collect, and I'm always looking through different, dollar long boxes and things at cons.
Yeah.
And it's just confusing if you can't keep track, because you have the same, like the comics all have the same name on the cover, but they're not necessarily the same comic.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like they tell you other information on the cover, like if it's volume 2 or what year it was printed in. And
Yeah, there's just a number.
like, I bought a page of original art of one of the X-Men Legacy series, and I don't know which issue it's out of, or like which run it is. And I was like, I'd really like to own that, but like, I already bought one, and this page isn't in it. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing.
The wiki is pretty useful for that. If you type in like X-Men Legacy Volume 1, X-Men Legacy Volume 2, like if you just type that into the Google, it'll get you the Wikia page. And that has all the covers of all the books.
Okay.
And like often reviews of every single one, and that's been pretty useful. Sometimes it's not that, like I've been comparing Wikipedia and Wikia to like kind of come up with things, and it's mostly worked for Alpha Flight. It was not particularly helpful. Like I really had to bounce back and forth a lot. And anytime on Wikipedia, when a character has their own comic series, like Cyclops, he has his own series, or like X-Man, or Cable, like any of those like series, they don't list it as being a separate series. The entry goes back to who the character is. So you can't like figure out like how many issues there are in Cable, or like what was the run period, because they're just telling you the basic information about the character,
Right.
not the comic. So then you have to go to Wikia, and that's usually a lot better.
I should probably try and use the Collector Z program. Let's look that up.
Right.
Because I paid for like this program that's basically access to a database where I can log in and like put in what I own, and then it'll show me the list, and then I could put that list on my phone. Then I can go to a shop and like look at my phone and look through the books and see.
I know what I own.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Be like, there's a gap in
You're not
Gotham
doing
City
it,
Sirens.
The other way. And
Right.
putting it all myself. Except it's free that way, but
Yeah.
How is the timeline going? Like, how long have you been working on this? I'm like super intrigued
kind
now.
of on and off. I've been working on it on and off through the summer, and in between doing other things. Because right now it's just Dragon Con
Right.
cosplay work. That's all
Right.
I'm doing.
That's coming up like,
That was maybe a couple weeks ago.
when is Dragon Con?
I'm onto like the single. Well, what I'm onto now is I'm gonna start putting in the mini-series things. So like, New Mutants had like Fallen Angels
Yeah.
that happened. I'm gonna try and get into like the annuals and try and get some of the annuals on the timeline as best I can. That might get confusing. Like I'm sort of at the more nitty-gritty like little bits for the timeline.
Mhm.
And once I get all that on, I want to start doing some like character tracking, so you can like actually pick up a character that you're interested in and just follow that character. And that's gonna take forever. I mean, that's like lifetime goals there, you know. But I think it would be pretty neat if there was any way to just say, oh, I want to know every comic that Cyclops is in. And
Yeah.
that would be crazy, but it's worthwhile.
Even if it was just in like chunks, like, hey, what's a good Cyclops story? Maybe read. I mean, I haven't read a whole lot of Cyclops. Avengers versus X-Men, because he was kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hasn't he always been
It's
kind of a
really
jerk?
interesting in the Claremont through the 80s. I mean, I was privileged enough to talk to Chris Claremont a little about that, and yeah, I just really liked his writing of Cyclops, and he was ready to just have him, go off with Madeline, and that would be that, and
Oh, that's
bringing him
right.
back.
You guys are way ahead of me in this. Unless it was from the cartoon from the 90s, or from Astonishing X-Men, or Avengers versus X-Men, I haven't read. I don't know a whole lot about Cyclops. So you guys are dropping these names and like, oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I have no clue what you guys are talking about.
And Madeline Pryor, that's the clone of Jean Grey.
What? I didn't even know this existed.
That's Cable's mother.
Do I have to
Yes.
submit my
So
comic?
Cable's
No, it's
mother
okay.
is not Jean Grey. Madeline Pryor,
So
who is Jean Grey's clone.
Jean became the Phoenix, and then the Dark Phoenix,
Mhm.
and then the Shi'ar like had her killed.
Right.
He's like, oh no, it's too powerful.
Spoilers.
And so was it Sinister? Yeah, it had to be Sinister, right?
Yeah.
So he clones Jean Grey. So this other redhead who's also amazing shows
I didn't
up.
know about any of this.
And Cyclops is like,
Did this happen in the cartoon?
no.
The Goblin Queen, she's not in the cartoon. But she's practically naked. And
Yes.
they never really touched upon New Mutants too much in the cartoon. There was like one episode where like a couple of the New Mutants showed up. And then there was like that one Warlock episode, and that was it for New Mutants. Even though they're like pretty integral to the X-Men story.
Right.
I think there was like a shot of Cannonball doing something one time, but like it wasn't involved with the story.
Exactly, they were just sort of randomly around. I forget why, but it was like, there they are, and now they're gone. Like X Factor showed up, like there they are,
Yep.
and now they're gone.
Never even mentioned that they're brothers.
Oh yeah.
Look, it's Havoc. Yeah, so. but it's
Oh, our powers don't seem to work on each other. That's odd.
that's weird. Moving on.
Never think of that again. Yeah.
Where's Archangel? So I normally don't like to pitch other episodes while we're still talking to someone. But was that 206? So back in episode, I think it was 206, we had this guy Larry Houston on. And I advise you to go listen to our episode there because Larry was the art director for the X-Men animated series.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so like he was responsible for like adding in a lot of content that like wouldn't. I got it right. Yes, thank you.
It was 206.
Because Brett was 205.
I believe you.
But
Good for that guy,
but Larry did so much cool stuff, and like there was something, and that was before Marvel was heavy into litigation. And like you can't use this, you can't use that. All the properties have to be separate. So like they couldn't give Spider-Man a talking scene, but like they could slip his web hand in a frame somewhere. And like Punisher's like on a video game cover, and he's like, "Yeah, I did that." It's like, you put Punisher. Oh my God, Punisher's in the Bishop episode, but he's not like a character, and he's like, "Yeah, I put that in." I'm like, Larry, you're amazing. And so his whole episode was just like really cool stuff like that. It was great if you're a fan of like the 90s cartoon. But
That's coming back in a big way. I mean, I feel like it already had its the comeback is here and now, and it's still coming back. Like people, they're loving the '90s right now. Like that's the big thing.
like that's what comes up when someone says classic X-Men or like classic costume.
That's me.
Like,
Because that's all I know about X-Men, especially from my childhood.
Oh, they like the blue and the gold, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When I think Cyclops, I think the blue with the yellow, and that's Cyclops.
Yeah.
Especially like obviously the Wolverine is pretty iconic throughout every.
If somebody asks for a rogue and they do like the green and white stripes, and you're going, oh, I meant the bomber jacket.
Right. Yeah. Can we get the jacket with the green and the yellow, please? Thank you. Like that's all I know, but I guess I don't know if that's willful ignorance. Like I just refuse to accept. Like I'm just one of those people who's just stuck in the past.
Well, like Carley said, if you want to fill in, like that's really intensive work,
right?
To go through and like there's also like a fair bit of trash too.
There is with any story that's been running for 70 years.
Well, like some people, when they decided to make Nightcrawler actually half demon rather than just making it so that he looks like a demon, but he's actually a human.
No, his dad's actually a devil now. I guess.
No, he's actually a demon. Some people feel like that story shouldn't exist and doesn't exist.
Isn't his dad Azazel? Is that his dad?
Yeah.
Is that in the canon? Is that the current canon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And
his mom was Mystique?
Yep.
Those are some cool parents. Let's just get that out of the way.
I don't know. I feel, there's...
Or your parents can do cool things. Maybe that's more descriptive.
They look cool, but like I don't think I'd want to be raised by them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he wasn't, so...
Yeah.
I guess lucky him. He got raised by Romani, so...
If it's a touchy subject, we'll just move on. But by now, if you think that Carley is one of those fake geek girls, I'm pretty sure that's been just blown out of the water by now.
Maybe just shut this off. 'Cause if anything, Carley should just take my spot in this because I think I'm a fake geek guy because I think she's already outshined both in comic knowledge and excitedness, and like I don't even cosplay, so I don't think I'm allowed to.
I know, we're really talking about X-Men.
Right, like you're dropping you're dropping bomb. Right, we all talking about video games too.
Oh, I collect old video game systems.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've got like an Atari TurboGrafx. I've got a Japanese TurboGrafx.
Jesus.
That's right. At Granite Con coming up, we're going to be running the video games at the after party.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing it Nick Arcade style.
Really?
90s party. Yeah.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, I got some games to torture people with.
And then can you insert them into the game and make them flail in front of a green screen like Nick Arcade back in the day?
I'd like to, but we don't have a lot of room at the party for anything like that. We're gonna have to just only stick to games.
I guess
I have
that's
some
okay.
ideas about some group games. I definitely want to bring out my I've Bomberman for the Sega Saturn.
Wow.
And it's up to 10 player. I only have 7 controllers for it.
Only?
So I think we can. I know. Well, they keep breaking too. I have no idea how to fix them.
Huh.
But I'm thinking of just having a big group tournament. I mean, we've been flying some ideas back and forth. I've also been considering. So for the Nintendo, Silver Surfer is one of the worst games ever created.
It is.
And I'm kind of between. Everybody knows it's the worst game, and so therefore I shouldn't use it because it's so old. And there's so many other bad games.
But I don't think people know why it's the worst game.
It's so classically bad.
It's
just so bad.
But if they don't know why it's bad, like you got to introduce them to that.
It's true.
So like, how far in before? Because like, Jared. So the Silver Surfer game was like released, and then there were ads in the comic books, and in the comics it's like, play the Silver Surfer game, and then like when you get a high score, like tell us and we'll send if you're the highest score by this date. You had to like take a picture of the screen,
get it developed,
and then mail that to Marvel as proof. I'm like, you can win
of what? Your misery.
And like it's a surfing game basically, so he has to like dodge shit, and he could like I think he could shoot back maybe.
It sounds like that really hard level of Battletoads.
You're either like top down looking at it, or it's like a side kind of space shooter.
Right.
And he's like going from left to right.
So
but
then,
like, it's so you just get swarmed with nonsense constantly, and one hit and you're dead.
Now,
just
a friend.
Weakest thing in the Marvel universe is the Silver Surfer.
Obviously.
Power cosmic means nothing to space debris. So a friend was telling me about it. So you have to dodge obstacles and like lasers coming at you or whatever. At what level do those turn invisible?
Invisible?
Yeah, this dude Art was telling me that like
sometimes it just you can't tell, but I don't remember invisible. I remember there's one level where you can't tell if it's the background or if it's like a side that can actually touch you.
Jesus.
Like an obstacle.
Yeah.
And so there's this big maze, and you end up going through the maze, and you get to this point where you're like, oh crap, it's a wall. I'm just gonna die. There's no way I could possibly get through this, and you just glide over it, and you're like, wait a minute, this whole maze was background. None of it was actually walls.
Oh my god. I'm frustrated just hearing about this.
Silver Surfer on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go back to. Can we talk about better things? Like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Golden Age of video games.
Speaking of video game contests, to go on a tangent, do you guys know about the Sword Quest Earth World and Water World and Fire World
Yes.
for the Atari?
Jared showed me the video
I
about
was
that.
reading up on that. It was crazy.
There's an episode
Like,
of the Angry Video Game Nerd about that where he goes like
yeah.
he goes deep into it, and it was I like made Alex watch it. Like it was super interesting. Like I couldn't
I
believe.
used to think that game was the worst game that was ever made, and I've seen other people say that too, but I just realized I was playing it wrong because I don't have like the instruction booklet or the comic or anything.
Yeah, you need it. Like you need that
Yeah.
stuff to actually play the game, and like the
Otherwise,
puzzles.
it's just like, what are all these rooms and mini games that make no sense, and they're terrible, terrible mini games.
Yeah, they really are. Like if for those, and go look up the Angry Video Game Nerd on YouTube, and what was it called again? The
Sword Quest Earth World or Sword Quest Fire World.
Yeah, and it was like this whole
Both of
big
them
thing where like they
Water
like
World's the rare one to try and find.
right. They had like this big contest, and like they would bring people in, and like the winners would win like these jeweled, like encrusted
Like a
Yeah,
swords.
they got
Sword.
actual gold and actual jewels and these like epic quests. It's like what's the book? Ready Player One.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they're like trying to find these relics from the 80s. Only one of those relics exists.
And like
The guy kept only one of them. What was it? Is it the chalice? I think he kept.
something like that.
I thought it was
Yeah.
the
The guy
sword.
who had the
Well-
amulet melted it down. Yeah, there was a chalice. There was a sword. Yeah, it was the chalice, but that's the only one that still exists. There was a sword, and there was a crown, and there was a philosopher's stone in a jeweled box, and the bank melted down the jeweled box and the sword and the crown. And then the guy who had the amulet melted down the amulet because he ran on hard times. And nobody can find the guy online, and there are like different communities looking for him, but nobody knows where he is. But the guy with the chalice, I guess, like will still talk to people, and I don't know if he makes appearances. He oughta.
Seriously.
Go to cons
That
and
is an important relic.
regale us with his tail. Yeah, show off his relic.
You should have like an
Last
autograph
one
booth at
left.
PAX or something.
Tour around with his chalice.
Come take a picture with the chalice. What's this? It's my picture with the chalice from.
It's the challenge from the Sword Quest thing.
Atari chalice.
It's really intriguing just seeing how hard they went in, like they went all in on that, and it didn't necessarily pan out, but like it's one of those things, like they tried something,
Dude, they
and
don't
especially
do
at the
that nowadays,
time,
like, geez.
like can you imagine someone doing that now? Like what's the equivalent of someone doing that now? Like
No.
like MLG tournaments? Like I don't know.
The only thing I could think of is what's the anime? The hack
Slash?
No.
Dot hack sign? That one?
Yeah, like hack dot sign or whatever. Because like they have a manga and an anime and a video game and then another anime and like there's 3 series of each.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
And like some of them connect, but some of them don't. And some of them follow characters, and some of them are new characters. But like, there's no contest involved. But you know, they're all supposed to be existing in the same reality.
Canon, same thing.
Yeah, those are hard to follow. There's just so much of it, and the games are rare.
Are
I have
they?
the first game. Yeah, some of the games are rare now. For the PS2 ones.
So you brought up Dragon Con.
Yes.
Can I ask what you're preparing for Dragon Con, or is that a secret reveal?
I might as well. I was being a little not talking about it on Facebook because I'm a little worried that I won't finish. But I have made some good progress today. I think I will finish. So the big thing that we're doing is cosplaying from the movie The Fall.
Ooh.
I don't know if you ever know what I'm talking about.
I am big into The Fall. That's like one of my favorite movies. I make many friends watch it frequently. It was directed by the same guy that did The Cell with Vincent D'Onofrio, where he was like a serial killer. Stuntman injures himself, and he's put in this hospital with a little girl who like has a broken arm, and he like starts telling her stories to pass the time. And so you're seeing these fantastic stories, but like through her eyes, kind of. It's like really amazing stuff is happening, but like she's imagining, you know, the guy that comes to visit her friend telling a story as one of the characters, and like one of the nurses is one of the characters, and in her imagination, and like it's really drab and like kind of boring and colorless in the hospital, but then like once it's in her imagination, there's amazing colors and just the sceneries.
Yeah, and they do a lot of weird like set things where you were looking at a guy's face and suddenly the face was the background of the desert.
Yeah,
it's just weird stuff like that.
So which?
Yeah, so I'm doing the nurse, who's the like she didn't really have like a princess or empress or any kind of name like that. But if you look her up online, it's the nurse, Nurse Evelyn. You end up seeing her costume, and I'm doing her red outfit with the flowers that you first see her in, and she's got the fans over her face. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to. It's been a while since I made someone watch it.
Dress. It's red. It's got these big flowers all over it. And I'm not one to do embroidery, so I've been painting flowers. But my technique, I think it looks pretty good. So I had to make like 5 huge flowers and then 5 small flowers, and now I'm on to the 27 feet of flowers because the trim of her sleeves have flowers all over them. So hundreds and hundreds of flowers I'm painting. And then, of course, there's the hat and the fan thing that I'm working on now. And then Brad, my boyfriend, he's working on, well, we're both sort of working on it. He's doing the bandit. So we have to do all the gold in the front, and he's been just collecting other things for it. And then our other friend, he did Darwin last year, and he's going to do Darwin again this year.
Darwin's fun.
Yeah. He's been looking for a monkey. He doesn't know what to do for that.
Which, not to get weird about it, but the bandit's outfit already is pretty damn sexy. He's got like these really cool pants and like this vest and this mask and these pistols. He
looks good.
It's pretty dope.
So when is Dragon Con? That's coming up, yeah?
Yeah.
September 1st.
The end of next week.
Have you been to Dragon Con before?
Yes, once before.
From what we hear, it is
also a Dragon Con, but
a lot of people say that Dragon Con is essentially just like a week-long party. And everyone says that like you have to go at least once. Like, would you concur? Would you say that that's an accurate description?
I would say you should really go at least once. We're bringing my dad with us. my dad's 68. We're bringing him with us.
Is he going to cosplay?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. He's going to do Uncle Iroh in the White Lotus, and then he's going to do Radagast again. We always call him Dadagast when he's Radagast.
The last parent
cosplay.
He's
going to find a lot of people.
Yeah, it's Dragon Con seems very inclusive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because for every cosplay like you won't recognize because it's from something, like there's been ones that I do recognize, but it's from a really like obscure source.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorites.
It's where all the obscure cosplays live is Dragon Con.
My favorite ever, someone was the crow wrapped up in yarn from The Secret of Nim, and I thought that was great.
I don't know what that is.
When I was there last year, there were like a couple groups of people going around with anti-mutant signs.
Sounds like my kind of people. Did they have a sentinel with them?
No, that would have been pretty cool though. Even just somebody dressed up as a sentinel arm.
Yeah, that's a wasted
Sure.
opportunity.
Which one was Trask and which one was Great and Creed?
No, they were just regular people. Well, regular racist, anti-mutant people. but,
Right.
You know.
I mean, if you got to be racist against something, I mean,
Oh my! Wow,
I guess
we're
so.
going. We're
Normally,
leaning in here.
Normally, my target is those filthy scrolls, but
Mm.
So cosplay.
Someone agrees.
Yeah, I like it behind. No, but I'm excited for my dad to meet some more people like his age because I feel like the range of people there, it's just like it's everything from little kids to older people, and he doesn't get to meet too many people, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that'll be pretty awesome. And my dad, he's like an old school nerd. He brought me and my sister into LARPing, so like he's been doing it all since the 70s. He was at PAX last year, and he was just sort of lamenting about how if he had been 20 and these sort of events had been going on, he would have just lived there the whole time. He would have just been, but when he was younger, that's just not what America was.
Right.
But it's interesting.
Well, I can imagine, like, around the time, when he was a kid playing D&D or something, like, that's when D&D was, like, the key to Satan or something. And it's like, oh, no.
Well, I don't think D&D was a thing when my dad was a kid.
Like,
But yeah, I think maybe... When did D&D start? In the 70s or the 60s?
That's a
I
good
think
question.
in the 70s, right?
I'm not sure.
It's
Maybe it got
old.
bigger in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, my dad would have been in college in the 70s, so...
Right.
Last friend I heard of who brought her dad to a convention was Baltimore Con, and her dad just happens to look a lot like George R.R. Martin. And like there's a bunch of Daenerys that took their picture with him, and then I was like, did anyone ask him to plan their wedding? And she's like, no.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Which I'm way behind. I just sent Jared a picture of the nurse and the bandit.
That's a lot of flowers, from what I could see there. So
Yes, it's a lot of flowers. All day today, all day yesterday, just flowers. Day before, flowers.
So, getting back to you and the things that you do, because I was checking out you have a Facebook page that everyone can go and check out, Carley Winn Cosplay,
Let's put more on that.
right? And, like, how did you get into cosplay? Like, was it kind of like a slow thing? Like, I guess I'll try this casually, or was it no? I'm going all like what was your introduction? Wow, introduction. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
There.
What was your introduction
So-
like to cosplay?
Okay, so for senior dress-up day, when I was in high school, I just wanted to be Harley Quinn. That's all I wanted, was to be Harley Quinn.
A reasonable.
And that was, like, 98. So cosplay, I didn't really know cosplay as a thing then.
Mm.
I wanted to dress up as Harley. I wanted to dress up as Catwoman. I did that year too. Like, so I guess I started wearing costumes. And then because I had those costumes, and I liked wearing costumes to cons, and then suddenly it was cosplay, and okay. So it's kind of a weird way to,
Yeah.
like I like doing it. I
I've
didn't
heard.
really see anybody else doing that when I started doing it. It was just sort of costumes.
I believe I've heard like a lot of people take the route of either they branch over from Halloween because they have a lot of Halloween costumes and they're used to doing that kind of makeup, but also theater kids who have a hand in costume making or like being other characters or being people and want to do that while not just in drama club and stuff like that. But also to the point where it's just like, I just want to be this character. I just want to dress up. How do I do that?
Right.
And
Yeah.
luckily, with conventions getting more and more popular, like that's your outlet to do it. Where it's not as normal to like just go to the mall as Batman. It doesn't really work out the same way.
Yeah.
If someone were
It
to,
used to be I would be begging for Halloween because that was the only time I would get to dress up as Harley like I wanted to. You know, it was like, oh, once a year, here I get to do my thing. If it's Purim, if I'm going to a Purim thing, maybe I can do it there.
It's acceptable.
Didn't happen.
What would you
Yeah.
say to like someone who might be debating, like someone who's like, I really like, you know, even just like Harley Quinn is an example. Like, I really like Harley Quinn. I kind of want to, like, I wouldn't mind dressing up as her at a show, but like nervousness, like, you know, awkward, you know, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about it, like wants to get into it but not quite sure?
Do it. People should just do it. Like, there are some crappy people out there. I like to call them toxic cosplayers, where they just make it a bad time. They're like, a lot of them are very possessive of their character. So if they see somebody, like, especially with the toxic Harley Quinns, they see somebody doing Harley Quinn and they're like, well, I'm the real Harley Quinn. I'm the one who's doing it. You didn't need a voice rape. Blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just, they bring the character down. They make it so that nobody else wants to enjoy the character. Like, it's toxic. It spreads to other people. But things like Harley Quinn, just do it. Everybody's doing Harley Quinn. More the merrier, you know? Like, the costume pieces are very readily available now. Not so much the classic outfit, but I mean, like, so many people are doing the Suicide Squad movie one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not really a fan of that, but hey, it's available. You know, you
Right.
can just buy it in Spencer's or buy it in Hot Topic. You can buy all sorts of red and black stuff. Like, I'm overwhelmed with the amount of Harley Quinn stuff that exists now in this world. People ask me if I have X, Y, or Z, and it used to be, oh yeah, I have that thing. And now it's like, no, I don't have, like, anything here. Hundreds of things now.
Man, I'm out of the game. Which,
Yeah.
to touch on Carley's cosplay, you posted your list of your cosplays a while back, and I believe the current Harley count, like total costumes, was 13.
No, it's in the 20s. It's about 20. And, oh, I wish I knew where I put that piece of paper. I have to add 2 to it, so I just did Lego Harley Quinn. And for Dragon Con, I'm going to do the Jimmy Connor Harley Quinn, as we say. In the current comic book Rebirth Harley Quinn.
I'm not even sure what that
almost
one
on
looks like
that.
right now.
So, you know, like the roller derby Harley Quinn
Yeah.
that they did?
Yeah.
So it looks like that, but with less pads. Like, she doesn't have the shoulder pads or the elbow pads, and she's got a jacket. It's got the Joker, like, all busted up in jail on it. It says owned. She's got blonde hair now, which is much better. I don't like the red and black hair.
Yeah.
I think it just, I don't know, it changes the character in some way for me. It just, she ends up looking kind of like Abby from NCIS.
NCIS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Which,
Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the same character. And then they gave her the blonde hair, and I don't know, it just feels more like the character again. Just something about that subtle thing that should just be really, what's the word I'm looking for? Just really superficial. But for some reason, it just, I don't know, it just changes it.
I think it might, like, harken back to like her first appearances in the cartoon, because when you always saw her, like, you know, in the costume, and like when she's out of the costume in like normal clothes, it's like, who's this blonde chick? And then she starts talking, it's like, oh my god, that's what she looks like without the outfit on, and like without the white face paint, and like
Yeah.
that really like would throw me off, and yeah, I mean, I got used to it, but when someone's always wearing a hat or like wearing a cowl of some kind, you never think of like, what do they have under there? It's
Right.
Like, are they bald?
Probably.
For a while, Midnighter was blonde, and recently they gave him a mohawk. But like, I never thought of what Midnighter looks like without his cowl on.
Especially in the comics, when you just see them always in, it's like, oh hey, I'm like when you see the Justice League hanging out, and like Baz, because Baz has like the full head,
Yeah.
like the mask, and
Yeah.
it's just like he's just always in it, like hanging out with my family. I'm in my Green Lantern uniform. That's just Baz.
But his sleeve is up, kind of to show his tattoo.
Yeah, he has the tattoo, but now like oh man, have you been reading Green Lantern?
I'm not.
Yeah, or Green Lanterns, because they're in the past
maybe
right now.
it's just like the blonde hair. Maybe it just kind of softens the character somehow. Like it makes her like maybe a little more sweeter and gentler.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me in my head with that. But Like I always think of it like the Powerpuff Girls. So Harley is like Bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's like, and I feel like if Bubbles had different hair, she wouldn't maybe quite feel like Bubbles.
I can see that.
I don't know though.
Yeah, because with the dark hair, then she'd just be Buttercup and like that. But that's not who her character is. Buttercup's my favorite, by the way.
Of course.
It's like, would she change if Bubbles changed her hair? Would she then take on like a darker persona? Would she, would she start trying to act like Buttercup? Like,
yeah, I feel like that would be a well-written episode. They have some good
it'd be
ones.
interesting.
So 20 plus different Harley Quinn costumes.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got it right earlier because it's fine for someone to do, like, I want to cosplay as Wolverine. It's like, well, are you going to do the yellow and brown or the yellow and blue? Or are you going to do Bone Claws? Or are you going to do
tank top?
Old Man Logan?
Right.
Or are you gonna do Berserker fresh out of the Weapon X tank? What?
Right.
And so like
there's his son.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Or even all new Wolverine.
Yeah.
With X-23.
Yeah.
X-23. All sorts of Wolverines kicking around.
And then it even gets into like the fan art or like even like let's see, there was an Alex Ross like pitch costume in an art book somewhere where it's like, here's what I think I would want to change the costume to. I'm like, that looks really cool. They never used it though, but I could see a cosplayer finding that and being like, yo, this. What's next?
Oh yeah, that's like the name of the game. Find something absurd.
Well, one I brought up in pre-show was the Dennis Medry version, which our frequent guest host Brett pointed me out to. It was the rooftop series. I'm forgetting the name of it. There was like a forum or like a page which would invite artists to like give new interpretations or mashups or just different versions of characters and like reimaginings. And one of them was a Batman family set in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And this guy Dennis Medry did a really cool like whole series of characters, like Batman and Nightwing, kind of like greasers, working a mechanic, working in a auto shop kind of thing, and like Nightwing rides this cool bike, and Joker looks like this Jerry Lewis kind of car salesman, and the Harley Quinn had this poodle skirt, but instead of poodles, it was cheetahs, and it was really great. And then like
hyenas.
What did I say?
Cheetahs.
I got that.
Jesus.
It's okay.
I'm gonna turn in my original art now. But yeah, hyenas. I'm sorry. And he had a lot of really cool like new takes and new versions. I dug his Bane, but then like within maybe a month or two of Brett showing me this and this being new to me, it shows up at Kineticon in person, and it turns out it was Carley and her friends.
What?
Yeah. It's hard to jump on something like the cosplays when they like. There's only like 2 others where I've gotten like a jump on it, and I feel like I never get any recognition for it. But like Arkham City, I was before the game was released because I was dressed up as Arkham City Harley at the release of the game at the GameStop. Like I got that cosplay together for Anime Boston, which was well before that. But they had released some images of Harley in like one of those gamer magazines, and so I was going off of that, made that cosplay. And if the problem with cosplays like that, nobody knows what it is.
Right.
And so they don't take, like if they're taking a picture of it, they don't tag you, they don't post it anywhere. They're just like, some weird version of Harley, here it is. So like at PAX this year, I was doing Injustice Harley Quinn. Fairly a mess.
So Injustice 2 has all the gear editions?
Yeah, I was doing Injustice 2.
So I can imagine like how many versions are possible just with that alone.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of versions. I was doing one version in particular, but I got recognized by like a couple people because they were like, "Oh, you're doing the Injustice 2," but the game wasn't out yet, so not too many people really recognized it. You know?
That's baller. Like I already have the costume done. I'm debuting it at a show, and the game's not even out yet. Get at me.
Yep. It wasn't.
I gotta ask.
Well known enough.
Having done so many, this is like a two-parter here, and for all I
Okay.
know, the answer for both questions is the same. Having done so many different cosplays, and also so many different versions of Harley, who I'm gonna go out on a limb and say maybe your favorite character, possibly. I don't know. Carley Winn is Harley Quinn your favorite, but in terms of, like I said, two-parter. So like, is there a favorite cosplay that you have or had in the past that maybe like is retired? Sub question, of the 20 plus versions of Harley, is there a favorite of yours? And like I said, it may be the answer to both questions is the same thing, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think the answer is the same thing. The classic Harley.
I guess you can't go wrong with it.
Favorite to wear, and it's the most fun. It's the people like it the best. I always get these they're not very nice comments to like other Harleys, but they'll always come to me and they go, "Oh, I'm so glad you did that version. That's the good version." Like I don't hear that as any other version of Harley. Or like, "Oh, you're the best Harley here." Like I hear that, and it's like, not a contest. Thank you.
Right.
You just kind of thank the person. But it's kind of like a shit talking all the other Harleys kind of comment.
Yeah.
It's like I appreciate the compliment, but you don't have to put everyone else in the room down. Like, oh. But yeah, classic Harley I feel like is the best. Like, I don't know, it's just something about it. It's just so well designed. Like, good design is good design. That's what another artist was saying to me when they did the new 52 first came out. They're like, why? why mess with it? You know?
Carley feels very strongly about that one.
Yeah. Oh, do I hate the new 52 version.
How?
That cape and the...
Didn't you modify the cover to Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Did you draw over it, or was that like computer or something?
I did... What I did is I freehand. I did it in pencil, then pen, then scanned it, put it into Photoshop, colored it in Photoshop, and altered some of the other things on the cover. Because, like, she had that stupid cape, and the cape was covering Deadshot. I had to rebuild, like, Deadshot's body and some of King Shark.
So to lay it out, the new 52 Suicide Squad number 1 had, like, that Harley front and center in her new outfit with
like
the
the
corset and the
yeah,
panties and, like, the high stockings, I guess, and like that's
hugely boobed. It's like crazy boobs.
And what Carley did was like, go to town and put work into this to put the original costume on her instead.
Right.
And like, it came out really well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you.
And like at first I was like,
a long time.
I didn't realize that essentially it was fan art. Like I assumed like they just released a better cover. like one of like DC put out like this cover somehow, and until you would say it, it's like, oh, I finally finished my and I was like, no way, that's awesome. So
oh, can I go back to what we were talking about, the classic outfit though?
Sure.
So I've made it 3 times in pleather. I've have it in spandex and then in lycra.
That was gonna be
So
one of my questions.
So I have to keep remaking it. So pleather breaks down. When the Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart rally that was in Washington D.C. a while back.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I forget what year that was. Maybe 2008, maybe 2009. But so I wore a Harley suit there, and I was climbing up the trees. Everybody was climbing up the trees there, in the what do they call that place in Washington? The
mall.
The mall, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just tore up all the insides of the wherever the pleather was. Just the bark of the tree was really rough.
Huh.
So like I keep going through those suits. So every couple of years I have to make another pleather suit.
Well, it's good that you're doing something you can be active in. Compared to like when I Mandarin, like I'm not doing anything that will put that robe at risk. I'm gonna stand still and make sure I gather it up when I go up the escalator.
I have a new stretch pleather that I'm going to be trying out I'm gonna make the the current Rebirth Harley Quinn outfit out of that, which is really just shorts and like a little hang top looking thing. But I'm gonna try that material out for that, and if it feels good, I might make a whole Harley suit out of it. Just because sometimes like the pleather's weird. It's got the brightness and the shininess that makes it feel cartoony.
Yeah.
But it also wrinkles in places.
Right. Oh yeah.
And if you make it tight enough in a place so it doesn't wrinkle, then suddenly you can't move. So, like, it's a lot of give and take with a lot of these materials. Like the Lycra I really liked, but the shininess in the Lycra starts rubbing off. So like the white collar, it's all red now on the inside for one of my collars. I had to make another collar.
You wouldn't like do that out of a different material or something? You'd rather have it match?
I've been using cotton. I like how that looks.
Yeah.
I know some people use satin. Make like a satin collar.
I thought you meant the collar was... no, I follow now. The red from the costume was rubbing onto the collar. There it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
the red from the Lycra from the costume.
I was like, the white is wearing away and turning red?
Color.
I don't understand.
Not the color, the collar. Yes.
I follow now. I'm with you. Yeah, from some of the makeup and haunted house stuff that I've done in the past, you have to learn how to sacrifice, like, is this going to be comfortable when I wear it? Is it going to balance correctly? And is it going to look good? And sometimes you have to sacrifice one of those for the other.
Right.
It's like your triangle and you can only choose two.
Yeah, like stable job, stable marriage, or like stable sanity or something like that. You can only pick two.
Yep. Is it comfortable? Will it look good?
I wore my pleather suit to Dragon Con last year, and I'm not doing that again. I like how that suit looks better than my Lycra suit, but it's so hot.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. I was getting sick. Like, I would have to just go upstairs to the hotel room, just take it all off, and just die on the bed.
Right.
And after I did Catwoman too, and it was just like, never again, never ever.
It's like opening the door to the steam bath or something.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I can't even.
I don't know how
imagine.
some people do that. There's a parade, like the Dragon Con parade on Saturday. I don't know how people do it. Like some people just have some heat tolerances that I don't have.
Or like all the stormtroopers in the armor.
I feel like a lot of people's heat tolerances would be tested in pleather, but
Keep wondering if I can get like a cooling. You know how people have those cooling suits?
right.
You can fit that under.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like an ice vest and things.
Why is Harley so bulky?
Don't worry about it.
That's bulky Harley. She's a football player now. Relax. Is there a costume that you want to do or would like to get to, but like maybe it's just not feasible in the near future, but like it's that prize that, eventually you want to achieve?
There's a few. I mean, everybody's got their like back burner list. I definitely have some things where I've bought material and it's just sitting there, and I don't have a con planned for it, but it's just sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's some fan art. It's the ventriloquist in Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do that one. Like it's like a combined ventriloquist Harley Quinn.
Huh.
I've got the material for the dress. I've got a dummy sitting in my closet. Oh my God, does Brad not appreciate the dummy? Also, I have two sort of, because I found... So, Brad makes fun of me for this, but I found a headless doll in the garbage that was about the size of a dummy.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well, I just have to build the head. That's not that bad. So we have a dummy and like this headless doll body, and it creeps him out.
Huh.
And I don't get bothered by those things.
I love the laugh. Like it creeps him out. It's great.
I mean, the dolls.
Or like when I got to get mannequin arms, because I did Opal from Steven Universe, and so I had these mannequin arms. He was just really creeped out by those. I was like, no, it's fine. Look, I'll attach it to a Roomba, and then it can just kind of go around.
Like a spider.
I was like petting the cats with the mannequin arm. He was just not happy. sneak up with him. Hi, Brad. How are you? Pet him on the shoulder. Ah.
With a headless doll, I mean, you've already got your prop for your Wednesday cosplay right there, Wednesday Addams.
I guess so. It's a large doll.
Oh, it's
this one. It's dummy sized. I don't know why. What a strange thing to throw away. Like, I wonder what happened to the head.
Well, that's why they're
I
throwing
don't know.
it away.
That house was a weird house. Like they always have like crutches outside the house and like walkers like in the garbage. Like, I don't know what's going on in that house.
They're stealing them from homes.
Hey.
So, what's coming up for you, Carley? Like, you mentioned Dragon Con. As we're winding down on time here, what's on the schedule? Where can people see you, your work, talk with you about comic books and X-Men, things like that?
Yeah, so Dragon Con big time. I'll be there. I'll be Harley. I'll be this character from the fall. Mostly I'm just gonna be Harley every day. Oh, and I'm doing Lenny from Legion with Brad. He's gonna be doing the world's angriest boy in the world. If we can get that head on the plane. Oh God, giant paper mache head.
Oh.
But after that's Granite Con, and we're gonna be there with Hero Army.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be great.
Kyle Stark is bringing his Hall of Armors.
Yeah, Kyle's been putting a lot of work in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be Thor on Saturday. I'll be Elsa on Sunday, and I told you how I feel about being Elsa.
We'll just make it up by being a really smiley, active Thor.
Yeah, pretty much. I like being Thor. Thor's another fun one. You got to find what's fun about a cosplay and just do it up. And like, I just try and talk really funny. What hast thou brought me? Ah, fine piece of pizza. Excellent. You know, you have to have fun with it.
I almost forgot. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we're running the video game thing, like I was saying, the '90s party.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun.
A couple years ago at Boston Comic Con, you were cosplaying, and like I walked right by you. I believe I took a picture. Never realized it was you. Didn't recognize you at all. And then I keep getting the name wrong because you were Zealot from Wildcats. But for some reason, for some reason, I keep referring to you as Lady Coda, and I'm like, no, it's not Lady. She's of the Coda, but it's Zealot. And like,
that's what I want to do again.
Joe's shaking his head at me.
Just embarrassing.
But like, it seemed like you grew like a foot taller too.
Oh, because I had my boots. I had tall boots on.
And
I had platform boots on.
And so Zealot is like straight up like '90s Image Comics.
Right.
So there's like ridiculous parts of the costume. These weird, like, huge, like boomerang shaped things come out of her back.
Of course.
With Jim Lee and Liefeld.
Yeah. That was an awesome costume, by the
way. That's what I was getting at.
It'd be really cool to get a Wildcats team together.
Huh.
I don't know. I talk with some people sometimes. They mention it.
Alex sounded intrigued,
and
now I kind of need to see it. So
I'll hit up a friend to make a good mall.
Look at Wildcats. It's so 90s. Just
the most 90s.
It really is.
Like, if you want to talk about like Liefeld drawing like lots of pouches on people, like who is heavy Liefeld.
Okay, so
it's Image.
We'll have a green and purple giant guy. And then we'll have a girl who's also a stripper and wears a lot of fur and purple. And we'll have a guy whose hands turn into swords. It's a great, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah.
I was trying to watch the cartoon again too, and
that was a rough one.
Oh, it's hard.
I feel like that was the same company that tried doing the Mortal Kombat cartoon.
Yeah, I think maybe.
There's a lot of. I feel like there's the same background scenes, and
it's definitely both on USA.
Yep. We never even got to like the original thing I contacted you over, which I mean we kind of addressed some of it, which I'm fine with, but you've astonished us with your knowledge of comics anyway, and I'm pretty sufficiently schooled right now.
It's true. We've both been taken to school today, and I'm cool with that. I'm totally down with that.
I have a comic book problem. I do.
I don't see it as a problem. I don't. Nope.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's not a problem. It's because oh my gosh, is my house filled with comic books?
What do you normally do? You stick to like certain series, or is it just do you buy whatever you dig? Like,
Mostly I'm all over X-Men.
yeah.
For a while, I was collecting Batman and Gotham City Sirens and like detective comics, like all of that. But then New 52 happened, so I was just sort of. I tried it for a little while and was like, nope, all of this, none of it. And now I'm collecting Harley again.
The Sirens was a really good series. I really dug.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, and the covers were gorgeous too.
There's a Catwoman issue where they pitched the idea, and then they made the cartoon that was Gotham Girls for a little while, and then they finally made it into the comic.
The Gotham Girls was fun too.
Is that a play on Golden Girls?
No.
Oh, I got really excited for a second there. Oh well.
Although they should combine that Golden Girls and Gotham Girls.
Right?
I wonder which Golden Girl would be which Siren. I wonder if we'd have to add in like Talia al Ghul to make it.
No, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Well, it was usually Catwoman, Harley, Poison, and Batgirl. That was usually
and Gotham Girls.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out which one's Blanche, which one's Sophia, Dorothy, and
which one's Betty White.
Oh man, I'm not gonna get it.
Your brother's furious.
My brother is furious right now.
I'm saying Catwoman for Blanche.
Was that the tough one?
Because although they're both seductresses, I feel like Catwoman is doing it more out of actually wanting to, whereas Ivy's just doing it for like, monetary gain.
Didn't even need to look it up.
Yeah, I think B. Arthur. I think that would be more the Poison Ivy. Blanche would be Harley. Then who's Sophia?
I don't know. Sophia, like the
She's gotta be the older.
Yeah, the matronly, the motherly one, the older, like the crafty veteran.
I guess what's the lady from Apocalypse World?
Granny Goodness.
Yes, Granny Goodness.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about at all.
She's the leader of the Furies. You know how
they brought her into DC Superhero Girls.
Really?
Yeah.
I bought my niece a bunch of the action figures when they came out. Because that was like...
Yeah, Granny Goodness is there. Big Bertha.
Barda?
Berta, yeah.
Oh, man, I got one! Yeah, I got one.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Harley with the cheetahs on her skirt. Yeah, that's... I want...
So...
all the Furies in it.
Since we are sadly, we are a little low on time, which makes me sad because I kind of just want to keep talking about comic books. But if people want to see your stuff, Carley, if they're like, wow, I want to see these 20 different versions of Harley Quinn and also these other cosplays and so on and so forth, if they want to see what's coming up, your stuff at Dragon Con, where can people find your stuff?
So, Carley Winn Cosplay on Facebook. I think you have to write @HowToWin because I was trying to do a comic called that, but Carley Winn Cosplay on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Carley Winn. I'm on Twitter as Carley Winn. Just kicking it Carley Winn everywhere. And I run with Hero Army whenever we're doing stuff. Cosplayers for a Cause. I work with them sometimes. I'm in that group. We go around and we, do different charities, help out. So I definitely like doing a lot of charities.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I get sort of like seen in the background maybe.
I can't stop not referencing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When what was it 2015 for the new year? Carley dressed up as one of Griff's gang members from Back to the Future 2.
Oh
really?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we had that party.
So future Griff, he has the 3D was still there, I think.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there was a girl with makeup shapes and lines painted on her face, and Carley had done that, and I was like, what? what is that? Until like the next day she posted
yeah.
she posted a side by side, and I'm like, oh my god, that is exact. She's one of the girls from Back to the Future too.
You know, it's crazy. Another girl did the same thing too
Really?
to that party. Yeah, a lot of people at that party, they were wearing the double ties, and
Right.
that was a fun party.
Which I never would
My
even
friends
thought of
used to
that.
No. Nope.
That's great. That's fun.
Well, Carley, it was a true pleasure getting to know you tonight, talking comics and other nerd stuff with you. I hope Dragon
Yeah, I had a fun
Con.
time.
I hope Dragon Con is amazing. Hopefully, we will be able to make it out there at some point when we're not. I was gonna say like maybe before we're old tired men who just could do like one
Yeah.
day of it. But I hope all the upcoming events are amazing. Maybe we'll see you at. Are you going to New York?
No, not going to New York. I'll be at Granite and I'll be at Rhode Island.
Gotcha.
I should be at Rhode Island. That one's sort of iffy, but I have plans for Rhode Island.
Nice.
Oh.
I want to do, okay, let me tell you this one. I want to do neutrinos from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
I've started buying things for this one. So I got a bald cap, and I'm going to build the hair out of foam. Like, did you guys see the Primus video, Winona's Big Brown Beaver?
Yeah.
That one? Yeah, you know, they're all, like, plasticky and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be all plasticky and weird looking.
Do you remember when the neutrinos would like burst down their flying Cadillac and shit?
Yes.
In the Turtles?
Yep.
Them.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the other from Krang's dimension or whatever.
Mention it.
And like
man.
music would play whenever they showed up.
That's
Like
we're
80s future, other dimension, 50s space greasers.
Ooh, are you gonna try and have music with you too?
Elves.
That would be a
I don't know what I'm going to be able to have with me.
Right.
But my other friend who does is Boston's Ninja Turtle, and he lives in Florida now, so he's going to be up for it. So I'll have at least a Ninja Turtle with me.
Nice.
And someday I'll have the other two neutrinos, like the two guys that'll be them. They said they're going to do it,
Uh-huh.
but I'm the only one who's like really like, I'm doing it now.
right.
So
You
I'm
can
gonna have
catch
my
up
costume
later.
on before they are. Yeah.
That's gonna be rad. I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes peeled. Hopefully, maybe Alex will want to be a neutrino later too. But
Any listeners
Oh, man.
that paid attention to some of our pictures from the past, if you go back a couple years to our Hartford Comic Con gallery on Facebook, you'll see me taking a picture with a really awesome Forge cosplayer. That was Brad, who Carley's been mentioning a few times. And like I was psyched. I was like, I never see Forge. I want to get my picture with the Forge. Like, Magic, you're cool too, but like, I want Forge.
that's awesome.
I ended up doing a 90s Polaris with him too at Dragon Con last year. That was fun.
I haven't seen your players.
Trying to get a whole X Factor team together.
Good luck getting
Yeah,
a strong guy.
I've only really born it at Dragon Con.
I think Alex should be strong guy. By the way,
I don't want to be
I'm just every time you guys bring up like we need this character, I just like okay, so Alex is gonna do that. You should be strong guy. But all right.
One time in New York, I saw twins that were dressed as Jamie Madrox. They're multiple men.
Oh man!
Oh.
Oh man!
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so good.
Well
Yeah.
played. Well played.
Okay.
It's like I have my sister, and then we have a friend that kind of looks like us, and I was like, oh man, we got to be the Cuckoos. We got to do this.
Carley, we. I'm laughing. We do sadly need to end again. Thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck coming up on all the shows. Go check out Carley's stuff on the Facebook and the Instagram and all the social medias. Go smash that like button. That's the thing that you have to say nowadays, right? You have to smash that like button. Like, comment, subscribe. Go and check out all of Carley's work. If you're going to Dragon Con or Granite or Rhode Island, go. If you see her, say hi. And say you were awesome on that one show. That's my favorite podcast. But Carley, thanks again. Hopefully
You're
we'll.
welcome.
I imagine we'll probably be crossing paths in the near future at some point.
Yeah. For
All
sure.
right. All right. So that's gonna do it for this. What was that?
I'm always at something. You don't see me at the next one. It'll be the one after that. I'm
Exactly.
Not going anywhere anyways.
It'll be that next one. So that's gonna do it for this week. So until next time, I have been JR.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Carley Winn.
And this has been episode 284 of Opinions May Vary.